What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more fighting. UFC 251 is almost here. UFC's Fight Island, they got it done. Excellent card. You got some star power. Most importantly, the main event, they got it done last minute. You have a title fight between Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. The two have had bad blood, and I cannot wait for this fight. I want to see how it all plays out. I want to see the event. Fight Island, it should be lit. If you are interested in getting this ESPN Plus pay-per-view, utilize my link. It is in the description box of all of my videos. Now you have a few options. You can order UFC 251 by itself, or for $20 more, you can get UFC 251 pay-per-view and ESPN Plus for a whole year. Look at the site for more details. I'm looking forward to the fight, and I'll be back on Saturday after the fight, let you know how they went. Use that link. I'll see you guys after the fights. We working. More trouble in paradise for Ryan Garcia, GoldenBoy, and DAZN. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Tonight is the night, UFC 251. Use my link in the description. It's in the description box of all my videos. Should be a great card. You got Jose Aldo, main event, Usman, championship fight, Jorge Masvidal. Very happy the UFC got that done. Late terms. If you want to be a part of that and sign up for ESPN Plus pay-per-view, use the link in the description. It does help my channel continue to grow and put out content for you. Now, I want to make this video. Ryan Garcia, he was doing an interview with The Athletic. I will link in the description in case you want to check it out. And I'm not going to say verbatim what he said, but basically, more problems for GoldenBoy and Ryan Garcia. They're having another tiff. This happened last year. Ryan Garcia seemed dissatisfied with his contract. He had this little spat and riff on social media. He took it to a social media, typed a bunch of things, and they called an emergency meeting with Ryan Garcia's parents, GoldenBoy, representation, and seemingly they reached a contract. Ryan was supposedly happy and felt he was being properly looked after, and he signed an extension with GoldenBoy. He even said something to the effect of, "This is the most lucrative prospect or young fighter contract ever." So that, I think tweets were deleted. So Ryan Garcia, it seemed like they had got over the little hump and the disagreement, but now it's resurfaced in a major way. Now reports started to come out that Ryan Garcia was going to fight the 4th of July. They try to pick certain dates and holidays like Valentine's Day or 4th of July for him to fight because of his market. He's really tapped in with the youth and the digital content creators and the youth TikTok generation, right? And we start hearing that wasn't going to happen. All of a sudden, we start hearing that there was commotion. Ryan wasn't happy with the amount of money he was receiving, etc. So GoldenBoy says, Ryan's out. We're going to have a July card, and we're going to move forth with our real prospect, the guy who's going to definitely be a champion, Virgl Ortiz Jr. And it looks like GoldenBoy is being petty. Oscar De La Hoya, GoldenBoy's presidents, and, Bernard Hopkins and stuff. And they're pitting Ryan Garcia and Virgl Ortiz kind of against each other. Ryan is not cooperating, saying he wants more money and these types of things. So they kind of use Virgl Ortiz Jr. as a backup. Now, I will say the only downside with that is Virgl Ortiz is nowhere near the star power and branding power of a Ryan Garcia. There's a lot of people who say, oh, but Ryan hasn't fought anyone, this, that, and the third. You have to understand, we're in a different times. Growing up, music, hip hop, you couldn't snitch, you couldn't rat. You couldn't, you know, if you did certain things, then you were outcasted. Like if people found you had a ghostwriter, that was over. Nowadays, if you have a ghostwriter, the youth doesn't necessarily care. This new hip hop generation doesn't necessarily care. They don't care if you didn't write these lyrics. If the shit slap, it slap. If it's a good song and, you know, they could bob their head and want to buy it, they do it. Same thing with ratting. Like you look at the Tekashi situation. He bounced back. He's doing videos on house arrest and is getting viewed, or at least that's what it looks like. So some people have just different code of conduct that they live by. So Ryan, despite not having fought the big name, he's relevant. He's on Sports Center every other week doing these garage videos, etc. So he just looks to be compensated. So I don't know what the next step is. They were saying it was weird. In the middle of Tyson Fury Glovegate 2.0, the WBC ordered him to fight Luke Campbell. We still, as of the recording of this video, at the time of recording this video, we haven't heard that that fight is official. But a couple of days after, the WBO considered Ryan Garcia and said he needs to fight somebody else, somebody named Togo or whoever, not really a known name. And Ryan Garcia allegedly told the WBO that he's pursuing the WBC route. I still have doubts if the Luke Campbell fight will happen. I think if he does fight Luke Campbell, that's a step in the right direction. That's a more dangerous fight than we're used to seeing him in, based on what GoldenBoy has put together for him. Luke Campbell had credible performances with Lomachenko. He hurt Lomachenko, you know, kind of held his own, even though he lost and got hurt himself. He looked solid after getting knocked down versus Jorge Linares, former champion who also fought Lomachenko. And after getting dropped, he did better in the fight, kind of lost his way towards the championship rounds. So he's had more professional fights. He's had more professional fights that teach you, you know, more learning fights, if that makes sense to you. So he's further along in his pro career based on just Lomachenko and Linares. Ryan Garcia hasn't fought anyone close to those types of names at the moment. So it would be a step in the right direction. Will he fight Luke Campbell? Again, I have reservations about that. I'm not sure, but we'll wait for the outcome. But I don't know. It looks like Ryan Garcia wants to leave. In this interview with The Athletic, again, this is just me not saying it verbatim. I might even put like graphics or the actual quote in this video when I edit it. But Ryan Garcia was saying something to the effect of, if you don't have confidence in me, if you don't think I'm the hottest young guy in your stable, if you don't have faith that I can get a title, these types of things, he's telling GoldenBoy, do what's right and release me. So I don't know if somebody's been in his ear. He definitely has an attorney, Guadalupe, and, you know, I don't know. Maybe somebody's in his ear telling him that. I know fighters have reached out and said, hey, we're not complaining about money, things like that. So we'll see how it plays out. But the fact that Ryan Garcia already in a brand new year during the pandemic is not, he seems dissatisfied. Canelo seems dissatisfied. It spells trouble for DAZN. The DAZN curse strikes again. It's like, how does DAZN, who's the new kids on the block, they've been around for the least amount of time, how do they have so many fights falling apart for various reasons? Amanda Serrano, she was scheduled to fight Katie Taylor on the Dillian White Povetkin card. It was thought to be a done deal before the pandemic. Boom, pandemic strikes, and then Serrano's team comes out, said they got offered the Katie Taylor fight, rescheduled twice or 3 times total, and they offered her a pay cut, and she was like, no, I'm not doing it for a pay cut. Then they try to work it out. Eddie Hearn kind of got in the way and blocked some of her other opportunities. And long story short, Katie Taylor's not fighting Serrano next. Now you have Ryan Garcia angry at GoldenBoy. You see Canelo golfing. You see Oscar De La Hoya golfing, but they're not golfing together. So we're hearing that Canelo's not really dealing with GoldenBoy directly. He's speaking through mediators and, you know, attorneys and whatnot. So it's going to be interesting. Pandemic has hit businesses hard. Ryan Garcia is undoubtedly a star, despite not having fought the bigger names in the sport. And he's complaining that other people his age, like Shakur Stevenson, he says is getting 450 to the article. I thought he got 450. I thought that's what I read, but the article said he got 750,000. He was the first Boxing Is Back card for Top Rank, and they're claiming he got 750,000. So that's quite a disparity from being offered 200,000 to fight in July. So it's going to be interesting how GoldenBoy goes about this to try to keep Ryan Garcia happy, because Shakur Stevenson is a beast, and I understand he went to the Olympics and medaled, but you have to look at this TikTok generation. As I keep saying, a lot of people, they're saying, oh, but this person did this, or this person went to the Olympics, or this person. That's great. But we know damn well that how lit you are typically is more of a popularity contest and your ability to boast and brand yourself, right? That's why you see Logan Paul and KSI, and they're able to get $1 million paychecks from boxing and sell out a certain amount of tickets, even though they're not career long or lifelong boxers. We just seen DAZN put that up last year. There's boxers that have never cleared $1 million from fighting, but you have two YouTubers and a YouTuber slash musician, excuse me, I said magician, a YouTuber slash musician in KSI, and they've already cleared $1 million off of one fight as a pro, one pro fight. So you have to understand we're in a completely different time. Ryan Garcia, whether you like him or not, whether you think he's annoying, whether you want to see him stop calling out Gervonta Tank Davis, or you want to see him fight someone, none of that matters. What does matter is, because that's all objective, you know, subjective conversations, what you personally like. But one thing that remains clear is in his age group, given the fact that he's never been a champion, there's not too many people who, if they go on these social media platforms, make the type of noise that Ryan makes. There's not many guys, if any, you know, because guys like Gervonta Tank Davis, you could say he's bigger and he's lit, but he's also a multiple-time champion, and he's a couple years older. You get what I'm saying? So there's other guys that are lit as well, like Shakur and Devin Haney, but he's definitely in that conversation of branding himself well. And then that has to equate to something in terms of the dollar sign, the almighty dollar. You have to pay like you weigh. You have to compensate for somebody's ability to put butts in the seats. If I'm not mistaken, Ryan Garcia, he's taken the names that he fought so far, and some of his fights, he's even put 10,000 people in the seats. Like there was one time, I remember I was in LA covering Gennady Golovkin versus Vanes Martirosyan, just because I'm in the Bay. It's not that I really wanted to see that particular fight, but I live in Cali, so I said I'll go see it. So I got credentialed for Triple G versus Vanes Martirosyan. If you look it up, he fought at what was formerly known as the StubHub, and the day before Ryan Garcia fought, and they did a similar crowd. Ryan Garcia's crowd might have been even more lit too than Triple G, who's been on pay-per-view before and had already fought Canelo at the point, because he was supposed to fight Canelo around that time, but Canelo failed a drug test. So Triple G had already fought Canelo, Jacobs, and Lemieux, I think, all on pay-per-view, and they had similar crowds. And Ryan Garcia's crowd back then might have even beat his. Since then, Ryan Garcia's appeared on ESPN, SportsCenter, Instagrams, and teamed up with Canelo's team. That helped his brand and his profile. So GoldenBoy got to get it together and pay the kid. Hopefully the Luke Campbell fight at least happens. It's weird because all the people that this article said, and that we know that Ryan Garcia was, you know, in talks to fight, it's like they're fighting each other. Hector Tanarea versus somebody else, Mercita Hesta. Those guys were rumored options for Ryan Garcia, and he was like, nah, that's not, I'm not going to get no credit for those fights. Mercita Hesta already lost to Jorge Linares, etc. And then Javier Fortuna was a guy that was offered, and Linares is a guy who is linked. All those guys are fighting each other. Linares is fighting Javier Fortuna, and Tanarea is fighting against Mercita Hesta. Meanwhile, we don't know who Ryan Garcia is going to fight, and he's the biggest name out of that bunch, which is crazy. It's crazy that GoldenBoy's priority is not to take care of this kid and just get him packing. And in my opinion, if I look at GoldenBoy's whole stable, it's Canelo. Canelo's clearly the man and the one that's at the top of the GoldenBoy stable in terms of accomplishments, accolades, popularity and stuff like that. But in terms of branding, Ryan Garcia, this might make some people mad, but Ryan Garcia does a better job branding. He speaks English, so when he has fights in America, everybody speaks the language Ryan speaks, and he annoys people, or people like him, whatever. He's selling himself. He's showing people the flashy speed and things like that. Canelo occasionally posts some gym clips and stuff like that, destroying the heavy bag and water bag and stuff like that, but he doesn't promote like Ryan Garcia. But we'll say Canelo's at the top of the totem pole because he's done more and he's been at this spotlight for longer, and he has more accomplishments in terms of resume. But after Canelo, on the whole GoldenBoy staff and roster, I'm not talking about skill. You have to understand, skill is different than will. Skill is different than what pays the bills. Like, it's not one and the same. Some people could say Virgl Ortiz, he's nicer, and I think he'll go farther than Ryan Garcia. We're not arguing this or that. What I am saying is Ryan Garcia is just behind Canelo on the GoldenBoy roster in terms of guys who are ready made for the stardom, branded well, and people know about him. I have friends, so I know this for a fact. I have friends that don't watch boxing hardcore like me and a lot of you guys, and they know who Ryan Garcia is. They're not going to know Virgl Ortiz Jr. at the moment, or Joet Gonzalez, or Hector Tanarea, Mercita Hesta. You know what I'm saying? But Ryan Garcia is already starting to transcend boxing, just like the guys like Gervonta Davis and stuff. So certain guys just break through the mold, even if they haven't had a crazy resume. So want to make this video interesting to see how GoldenBoy and Ryan, they just keep having this back and forth. We'll see how it all plays out in the end. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We'll see. I'm going to see if he fights Luke Campbell, but that's a step in the right direction if they get that done. Let me know what you guys think. Also, UFC 251, use my link in the description box. It does help my channel. And let me know what you guys think about Ryan Garcia. How much is he worth? Who do you want to see him fight? Is Luke Campbell going to upset him? Does Ryan destroy Luke Campbell? That's another reason I want to see the fight, because if he does fight Luke Campbell, it's a great barometer. Young kid, talking all the talk, and you know, we got to see him walk the walk. Now we have a barometer to gauge if he fights Luke Campbell. We've seen Luke in there, as I mentioned, with Jorge Linares, and we've seen Luke Campbell in there with Lomachenko, and he's a gold medalist. So by far, it'll be the best name that Ryan's fought. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Ryan Garcia spat with GoldenBoy. Drop that. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.